What's up, Broncos country? Welcome back to the Broncos Podcast Network and YouTube for the latest edition of Broncos Now. I'm your host, Sydney Jones, and it was a monumentous day here at the UC Health Training Center. Russell Wilson is here to stay. We've heard all offseason from General Manager George Paton that the goal was to sign Russell Wilson to a long-term deal, and that goal became a reality today. The Broncos and Russell Wilson agreed to terms on a 5-year contract extension that runs through 2028. It's an extension on a 2-year deal, which means Russell Wilson will be with the Broncos for the next 7 seasons. Take a listen to his opening statement in today's press conference.
For me, this has been an amazing journey. I remember being up on the stage not too long ago and talking about the visions and the goals and the missions. And I think the best part about it all is when you're around some amazing people, amazing teammates that are so dedicated to the craft, it makes this that much more enjoyable. It's really about them more than anything else. It's not about really me. It's being surrounded around guys who want to put the work in every single day and the dedication to it. And that's why I told Mark and George that I wanted to be here for a long time. I believe this is a marriage, and you want to be here for a long time. And my goal is to be able to finish my career here and do all that. But I think the best part about it all is just the people that I get to be around. I think with Coach Hackett's leadership every day on a daily basis, how he gets the guys going, his focus, his attention to detail, our quarterback room with Coach Kubiak and Justin Alton and just the rest of the guys, Brett and Josh. I get to go in a QB room every single day and just push and push and push and learn. But also George Paton, obviously, George, I thank you for believing in me. I thank you for making all this happen. Just your hard work, your vision, the team that you've assembled too as well and put together has been really amazing. And the reason why I wanted to be here for so long because I trust you two guys up on the stage with me. I trust you, Coach Hackett, and how you're going to go about it, how you've gone about it every single day, the work that you put in, the late nights, and then you, George, too, as well. Your vision and just how you're such an amazing communicator. Just how we've communicated all three. The three of us, how you've communicated along this whole process about details and about young guys and about the vets and about what you want to do next and everything else. That means a lot to me because I love this game. I'm wildly obsessed about this game, and I'm obsessed with it. And I think that when you get to be around people that have that same obsession, it makes it that much more special.
We also heard from General Manager George Paton and Head Coach Nathaniel Hackett about how important this moment is for the organization and how excited they were to get the deal done.
This is a great moment for Russell and his beautiful family, and certainly congratulations to them. But I think all of us would agree this is a great moment for our football team. And you've gotten to know Russ a little bit. He's all about winning and his teammates first and foremost. And I believe this deal is a win-win for everyone. And this allows us to continue building and maintaining a championship roster. Just a short time here, Russ has made a tremendous impact both on and off the field. His work ethic, his championship mentality, his desire to win are second to none. And along with Coach Hackett, our players and our coaches, I truly believe we're building something special here. And this is only the beginning. We obviously have a lot of work to do, and that starts with the preparation, for next Monday in Seattle.
A crazy couple months, I think, for everybody. And it's such an amazing time for Broncos country with this getting done and getting to know all the Wilsons, everybody that's involved with you. I mean, just such an amazing group. To know that they're going to be around here for a long time is amazing for all of us. And to have this new ownership group come in and put their stamp on this organization by being able to do something like this is just unbelievable. And Rich, I love you, man. You're a grinder. George, Mark, all of you guys that I know have spent countless hours on this. I thank you because it's a great thing. Not only for me, but the coaching staff, for the players and everybody, having the time that I've been able to be with Russell, and it's been quite a bit, and it has been an absolute blast. We've had a lot of fun, and now it's time to get this season going. There's been a lot of action, but now we get the real action, which is the football season. I can't wait.
And Russell Wilson went on to say why it was so important to get this deal done before the start of the season.
Well, we talked, George, Mark, and I, and Rich, and Greg Turner too as well. We talked about just along this journey. We don't want to be a distraction. I came in here knowing that on the trade that, listen, I got 2 years, I'm ready to play, and whatever we got to do. And But I think that to be able to get this done before the season and to, just have it all done is a blessing. And I think it also allows us all to be excited. I think just to be in the locker room with the guys, to be on the field, and just have a great time with guys. We had an amazing dinner last night with a bunch of guys, and vets, and just it's been an amazing journey. And like I said, it's really more so about this football team than me. It's really just about what we can do together and where we're going.
We also talked to several players today in the locker room before practice. Wide receiver Cortland Sutton, safety Justin Simmons, running back Melvin Gordon, and center Lloyd Cushenberry spoke on Russell's contract extension and discussed how deserving he is of it.
Just happy for him, the guy, when you see his work ethic and see the things that he brings to the table and what he does, it's all earned. It's not given. None of that money was given to him. It's all things that he's earned, by the way that he carries himself, by the way that he works, by the way that, he just demands excellence out of himself and everybody around him. It's just you're excited for him and, look forward to, these upcoming, events.
Yeah, well deserved. That's the first thing I thought of. Well deserved. He's a proven quarterback in this league, a Hall of Famer, and I'm excited for him. So he'll have to take me out to dinner or something.
He deserves it. He deserves it. He put a lot of work in, man. So, he devoted. He told me he want to play at least 10 more years. So, they might be having after that 5, they might be having to come up off that checkbook again.
Just realizing how long he'll be here. There's always a lot of confidence when you get a guy like Russell Wilson, one of the best in the league. So, it's great.
Now joining me here inside the Broncos podcast studio is Broncos lead writer Aric DiLala. Aric, what a week it has been. There's so much to break down today. Obviously, let's start with the Broncos and Russell Wilson agreeing to terms for a 5-year contract extension. Aric, just overall, what do you think this means for this Broncos organization?
Yeah, it's a great thing, and for several reasons. When you traded for Russell Wilson, I think this was always the hope that you were going to get a long-term deal done, that he was going to be in Denver for a very long time, that he was going to be that franchise quarterback. I think it was just a question of when is it going to happen? Was it going to be before this year? Were they going to let him play out a few weeks this season? Were they going to wait till next offseason? But I think getting it done, it just removes the questions about, is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? And so it just removes a distraction. I think it's also a boost to the organization to know that, hey, Russell Wilson is going to be here for the next 7 years. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that helps with football. It helps with business, helps in every aspect, and kind of raises all boats. And so I think that that's really important as well. And then, you think about it from a financial standpoint and, the salary cap and all that. By getting it done now, you avoid other quarterback contracts happening that could make this a more expensive deal. And, I think while the figure itself might be wow, when you think about it, the way the salary cap goes up year after year after year, you look at all these deals and it doesn't take long before you're like, well, that's a really good team-friendly deal. And, we heard Russell Wilson say, I want this to still be an attraction for free agents, for other players. And so I think, as George Paton put it, it's a win-win for both the team and for Russell Wilson, and I'm really glad that they were able to get this done.
Yeah, I feel like it says a lot, not only about the team's commitment to Russell, but Russell's commitment to the team. And in this city, Russell went on to talk about the trust that he's built with head coach Nathaniel Hackett and general manager George Paton. He said the reason that he wants to stay here for so long is because of that trust, is because of that bond that he's built, which says a lot between the three of them, I feel like.
Yeah, this is the core group, and you throw in President Damani Leach, you throw in the Walton Penner family ownership group, led by owner and CEO Greg Penner, who was very involved in this deal, it sounds like. But you have this kind of core group of 5 entities between ownership, team president, GM, head coach, and quarterback, and that's the group that's going to lead this team forward. And so for them to have such a great relationship, for them to be all in lockstep, in sync, moving forward, I think it means a lot for this organization. And yeah, listen, when Russell Wilson was traded here, like I said, the intention was always for him to remain here, and George Paton said as much. We want him to be here for a long, long time. But until that's a reality, it's just that it's an expectation. And so the fact that Russell's comfortable with the coaching, comfortable with the GM, he said, you guys are a big reason why I want to be here. that to me shows, hey, whatever expectation they had, whatever plan they wanted to put in place, it's working. And that's a really good sign, not just for the immediate future, but long term.
Well, we heard about how the deal happened last night. George Paton said that he had fallen asleep before the deal was finally done. He woke up to a call from Russell and Sierra, FaceTime, of course, because we know Russell loves to FaceTime. But George said it was one of the best phone calls that he's ever received. And, that was the best feeling he had ever had after getting a deal done.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? This is probably the biggest deal. It might be the biggest deal he ever does, just because it's a long-term extension with a franchise quarterback. I think part of the allure or the pride he feels probably also comes from the fact that they got the trade done, and this is kind of the final piece of that trade. And there were just a lot of different moving parts, a lot of different pieces. I mentioned Greg Penner's involvement, Rich Hurtado, the Broncos salary cap specialist, and his assistant Rob Simpson were both involved. Mark Rogers, Russell Wilson's agent, obviously played a big factor in this. Yeah. And so a lot of different pieces. They kept it quiet. It was not something that was, in the press a lot where people were talking about, oh, this is where Russell's contract stands. The Broncos made this offer. Russell's camp made this offer. It was done and handled the correct way. And so I think it's not just about getting Russell signed. It's about the fact that you've now completed this process that changes the prospects for your franchise's future, and you did it the right way. And so if you're George Paton, you've got really good reason to feel proud about that.
Well, and even if the fact that they got this deal done before Russell's ever taken a snap as a Denver Bronco, that's kind of impressive. I like that.
Yeah, it's impressive. And, it's an interesting way to play it, because some teams would say, hey, go out there and show us what you can do.
Yeah.
The Broncos have seen enough from Russell Wilson. They believe he's still in the prime of his career. There's no real reason to think otherwise. He played really well in 2020 through a career-high 40 touchdown passes and played well at the beginning of last year. And even after he came back from that finger injury toward the end of the year, he turned it on again. And so we've seen nothing to suggest that Russell won't be that Pro Bowl type quarterback, that top 5 type guy. And to get it done before the season, like I said, it removes the distraction. You don't have to talk about it anymore. You don't have to say, oh, is this coming up at the bye week? Or does a poor performance one week or a great performance another, do those impact where things stand from a contract perspective? I think it speaks to the trust they have in Russell's play, but also what he's brought to this building, just in the way he's kind of galvanized the rest of the players, the way he's motivated them. He's given them hope. Even George Paton said, I try to beat Russell to the building and stay later than he does. He's motivating everybody, and I think all of that goes into giving him a contract now as opposed to waiting.
Russell also reiterated many times throughout the press conference that he wants to end his career here in Denver. For Broncos country, I know that's probably so wonderful to hear, to know that they're going to have a franchise quarterback for at least the next 7 years, if not longer, depending on when Russell wants to retire. And something else that I noticed throughout the press conference is he kept saying how obsessed he is with winning, which we've heard him say so many times. But he said the 3 things that he lives his life by and is really are obsessed with is faith, family, and football. He came here to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And over the next 7 years, you're going to have that chance a lot, I think. And you're right. Who knows if Russell's here longer? He said he wants to play 10 to 12 more years. So maybe there's another contract at some point down the road. But the fact of the matter is this deal is going to help you do just that, win. Because the way it's going to shape up, I think it's going to end up being a team-friendly deal. They're going to be able to still get free agents in here, sign those high draft picks, not have to get rid of guys as they kind of reach that contract status. Russell Wilson himself called out guys like Pat Surtain, who's playing at a really high level and will be eligible for an extension in a couple of years. So from that standpoint, I see a guy who, like you mentioned, is dedicated to winning, is dedicated to being here a long time, knows what it takes, with his body to make sure that happens. And I think if you look at it from a historic standpoint, Peyton Manning did some incredible things here in 4 years with the Broncos.
Yeah.
But he was here for just 4 seasons. And so if Russell Wilson plays anywhere near how he has over his career, he's going to break those records if he's here for 5, 6, 7, more years. And so Russell Wilson now with this contract extension has a chance to really cement himself as an all-time great quarterback if he just plays the way that he has throughout his career.
Well, a very, very exciting day here at the UC Health Training Center. Aric, appreciate you taking the time to chat about it.
You got it.
And in other news surrounding the team today, the Broncos announced a couple transactions. Denver signed veteran cornerback Darius Phillips. Phillips spent the first 4 years of his career with the Bengals. He signed with the Raiders this past offseason and was released when Las Vegas trimmed its roster to 53 players on Tuesday. And in a corresponding move, the team waived cornerback Isang Bassi. Plus, the Broncos added offensive lineman Will Sharman to their practice squad. Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode of Broncos Now. Broncos Country, thanks so much for tuning in for another edition. We have a long weekend here at the UCL Training Center, so there will not be a show Friday or Monday. So I will see you right back here on the Broncos Podcast Network and YouTube Tuesday afternoon. See you all then.